Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Vinitaly International Academy, announcing the 24th of our Italian Wine Ambassador courses to be held in London, Austria, and Hong Kong from the 27th to the 29th of July. Are you up for the challenge of this demanding course? Do you want to be the next Italian Wine Ambassador? Learn more and apply now at vinitalyinternational.com. Welcome to Jumbo Shrimp Wine Study Maps. We have specially created this free content for all our listeners who are studying for wine exams. This has been a journey of development since Stevie Kim discovered Rosie Baker's hand-drawn maps on Instagram through 2 years of work by our in-house editorial and graphics team, and now the maps are available to purchase in beta form while they undergo the final proofing and editing by our expert advisory board. It's a 3-layered project because we know everyone learns differently. We now offer the complete box set of 39 maps, this series of podcasts with the maps narrated by our crack team of wine educators, and finally, the study guide book, which will be published later this year. Our map project is in no way a substitute for the material set out by other educational organizations, but we hope all the wine students out there will find our map project a new, exciting, and useful tool for learning. For more information and to buy the maps, please visit our website at mamajumboshrimp.com.
Welcome to the Jumbo Shrimp Wine Study Maps podcast. This episode, we'll be looking at the south of France map. We've made it to the south of France and the regions that hug the Mediterranean, and it is truly a warm Mediterranean climate here. Hot summers, mild winters, low rainfall throughout the growing season. Quite often drought is a problem, but fortunately fungal disease is not, as it's very dry. There's a large IGT area here of the Pays d'Oc, allowing for many styles and also for lots of experimentation and innovation. There are also a series of key appellations. We'll tackle each part separately. 2 key influences that you need to be aware of in this southern region of France are the influence of 2 different winds. The Mistral, a cold wind coming from the north, and the Tramontane, a cool wind from the west. Both of these aid in cooling the vineyards, allowing for premium grape production. Let's look a little bit at the grape varieties that are grown in this large area, and then look in more detail at specific appellations. So for our black grape varieties, there is a continuation in the theme we see in the southern Rhone. Grenache, very suited to the warm climate here. Syrah, on the other hand, tends to prefer the cooler sites with the influence of the cooling winds, or some altitude in order to gain the best from it. We also have pockets of Mourvèdre and Cinsault here. One of the key grapes in this southern area is Carignan. This is widely grown and it's naturally high in tannin, acid and colour. Now, it has in recent years been thought of as a very rustic grape variety, which can lack fruit or finesse. However, some old vine Carignan on very poor soils can produce incredibly powerful, complex quality wines. And there has been some success in using carbonic and semi-carbonic maceration to control the tannins and produce fruitier wines. However, the trend is still for less planting of Carignan and more focus on other varieties. In particular, there's been an increase in the production of Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon here, largely for wines that are varietally labelled within the large IGP of the Pays d'Oc, and very successful in blends. Following that trend in the white grapes, there is large plantings here of Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc, again for this production of high-volume, fruity IGP wines in the Pays d'Oc. We have some Viognier here, again echoing the southern Rhone. We have Muscat, used for sweet fortified wines, and Grenache Blanc for these peachy wines. In addition, we also have Clairette, Rollet, and Picpoul.
Italian Wine Podcast. If you think you love wine as much as we do, then give us a like and a follow anywhere you get your pods.
Many of the styles here, both in the IGP and the regional appellations of Languedoc and Roussillon, are focused on blending. It should be noted that the wines of the Côte de Roussillon are found in the hills, so there's more concentration, the best villages of which actually take village status here. Let's take a quick look at some of the appellations contrôlées that you should know for your wine exams. First up, let's talk about Fitu. So these are coastal wines, but it's very warm here still, so they are full-bodied. Inland, we have an area that are exposed to altitude, therefore gain a little bit more freshness and tend to be lighter. Next up, we have the wines of Corbière. Now, this is an area really cooled by the Tramontane, so it's possible for blends to retain a lot of freshness here, and you might see a slightly higher percentage of Syrah in the blend as a result, obviously in the red wines. The wines of the Minervois vary in style a lot due to different richnesses of soil and exposure to cooling influences. So you might find wines here that are very full, very complex, and others that are much lighter and fresher. Very much depends on the microclimate within the Minervois. There is a key white grape appellation here of Picpoul de Pinet, where we find the planting of Picpoul. Now, the sea breeze influence here helps maintain the natural acidity of this grape, giving relatively neutral but very refreshing wines, a little bit of a salty character, very suited to the seafood here. Heading east along the coast, we come to the large appellation contrôlée of Côte de Provence. Now, Provence, this landscape has lots of hills that protect from the Mistral wind, but channel the cooling influence of the sea. It's most famous for the rosé wines here, blended wines from Grenache and Cinsault in particular, but there are some white and red wines here. But really, Côte de Provence focused on rosé and really setting the international standard these days for pale colour, light-bodied with grapefruit and red fruits. Close by, we also have Bandol. This is an appellation contrôlée for premium red, full-bodied, powerful wines with long suitability for aging made from Mourvèdre. There's lots of south-facing slopes here that are used to ripen the tannins of this grape, and they have licorice and bramble characters. Speaking of aging, join me on the next episode when we begin our discussion of Bordeaux.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Italian Wine Podcast, brought to you by Vinitaly Academy, home of the gold standard of Italian wine education. Do you want to be the next ambassador? Apply online at vinitalyinternational.com for courses in London, Austria, and Hong Kong, the 27th to the 29th of July. Remember to subscribe and like Italian Wine Podcast, and catch us on SoundCloud, Spotify, and wherever you get your pods. You can also find our entire back catalog of episodes at ItalianWinePodcast.com.
Hi guys, I'm Joy Livingston and I am the producer of the Italian Wine Podcast. Thank you for listening. We are the only wine podcast that has been doing a daily show since the pandemic began. This is a labor of love and we are committed to bringing you free content every day. Of course, this takes time and effort, not to mention the cost of equipment, production, and editing. We would be grateful for your donations, suggestions, requests, and ideas. For more information on how to get in touch, go to ItalianWinePodcast.com.